I put my phone onto record. Then I took a moment essentially to acknowledge my fear. I had a longer moment of, should I really be doing this? Whenever I get to that point, I always end up asking the question, well, compared to what?
All rise, please.
Be seated. It's very important you keep your minds open and attentive. Listen to all the evidence. Do not discuss the case among yourselves or with anyone else. So as Mr. Ward sits in front of you now, he's currently charged with count 1, burglary in the 2nd degree, and count 2, sabotage. Okay? All right. Thank you. Mr. Johnson, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. The evidence in this case is going to show that Mr. Ward did in fact commit these 2 crimes. And this case is a little bit different from many of the cases I've tried and many cases you might have seen, in that the facts really aren't in dispute.
Ken Ward determined that civil disobedience was necessary to try to get changes made before it was too late. This is a matter of preserving living as we know it on this earth, not just for himself, not just for his son, but for everyone, for all of us, for all of our kids, for all of our grandkids. That is how he came to October 11, 2016.
Climate change is just dealt with as if it was any other discrete environmental issue. What we're talking about is the end of the conditions that make civilization possible happening right now on our watch. We've just warmed the Earth enough to melt the Arctic, and what do? We don't stop doing that. We go up and use the fact that it's ice-free to drill for more. They just announced on Monday, and they are sending one of their tender ships, an icebreaker, to, of all places, Portland, to repair it. So they cannot drill without having this ship on site. If there's any way that people like me, who think this is insanity, can figure out some way to block this Finnish icebreaker from leaving, then they won't be able to drill. Well, I figure I'll attach this to this,
And to
then
this.
we'll weld that.
But you want this to come through here.
I am thinking of taking the dory and get in the pathway of where the icebreaker has to go to get out of the dry dock, and anchoring with this heavy-duty chain. And then at some point, as the ship has to go through where I am, then the Coast Guard will come ask me to move, and I will say no. And then we'll see what happens. I'm doing this because the world, as I know it, is ending. It's the only thing I can see that might work. I don't want to be doing this, but when I start thinking up excuses, the thing that I end up thinking about is my boy. Then it just makes it easier to go, well, I am obligated to do what I can. That's why I'm doing it.